Lovers. Lovers. Hello. Good day. Happy Monday. Welcome to the pit of hell. It's going to be a heated stream, guys. Heated? It's going to be booted and zooted. Guys, get in here. Marshmallow. Lovers. Sage, good seeing you. Ozzy. Vog, thank you for the work and lurk. You know, it's one of my faves. All right, well, let me actually first adjust this stupid little capture. I'm back on the quote-unquote new PC. I'm back on my bullshit. It was shipped back to me Friday. Got some quality repairs. I got hooked up with some stuff, which was cool. Sorry. Interesting. Okay, sorry. I don't know what I did here. Fuck it. We're going to lose it. But man, I've had so many continued issues with this thing. They sent it back to me and they'd put the back plate like on the motherboard, connecting it to the actual GPU in such a way that I can't access all of the ports. Can't access the USB. I mean, it's just insane. It's like kind of 101 type shit. So I don't really know. I'm rapping with this dude. I'm trying to be professional about it. He's very well intentioned and is a very capable person. It just seems like there's just been repeated breakdowns here. So, you know, I also had my character turned into a fucking lich last night in the Amber Temple. It's less than ideal. There's many things that took place in this session that were less than ideal. So forgive me, because I was like, man, should I even stream? I'm like fucking pissed. I'm pissed at the world. I'm pissed at this computer. I'm pissed that the window capture, for whatever reason, just goes back to gray. Who knows? First time I streamed on this computer, the Google Doc that was captured was, of course, white. And now it is this bonish gray. Bonish as the skin of my former bard, Masrim Taft. R.I.P. Big rips. Yeah, man. I mean, Jesus. It's really been a wild 12 hours. The computer's going to sort itself. Either I'll get it appropriately functioning and get my time and blood, sweat, and tears appropriately compensated, or I will reach out to them and tell them that I am returning this device. Or I'm straight up canceling the fucking payment. And you can come and fucking get it. Foos, happy Monday. I'm honestly struggling. But computer, done. That will resolve itself. This Google Doc window capture into darkness, like even whenever we run that Cthulhu back and I'm doing window captures, will they be gray? I've spent an enormous amount of time. I don't know. I do not know what it is. I thought it was a graphics card thing. I thought it was like a game mode capture setting. Doesn't appear to be. But the irony, of course, is that this Tuesday campaign, which is in the throes of this war between Shantaea, the goddess of harvest, and Bala, the goddess of blood, that they're about to be faced with a lich themselves, an orc, serving the goddess Bala and defiling a temple in space dedicated to Shantaea. And yesterday, in this Curse of Strahd campaign, my character, who is an acolyte of Shantaea, was turned into a lich. God. the worst emotional experience I've ever had at a table. Bar none. Absolutely bar none. Just trying to pop off. And I'll. So today, in terms of prep, I'd given myself quite a few notes in regards to the motivation and through line of this Lich, of this character. And now, against the shadow of this tragedy, I'm just curious how these events are connected. Because I don't think that an acolyte of Shantaea gets turned into a Lich in Barovia, and that this Storm Chaser campaign wanders into an old temple of Shantaea to find a Lich powered by the blood of Bala ruling over the dark space. Those events have to be connected, right? But I realized today I was meditating, and my meditation kept coming back to how fucking mad I felt. And I hate that. But I think sitting with that is important with any emotion. And I thought I did so. And I felt a lot better. And then as I was preparing to stream again on Merlin, this new PC device that I can't understand, is sort of like a sick child. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who to focus my energy towards, or what sorts of energy to focus. Energy of compassion and solutions, or just anger at Cobra type. You know what I'm saying? So all that to say, guys, that I love you. Thank you for being here with me. I was about to go live and I was like, should I do this? I was trying to fix this fucking capture method. Should I just bail? I'm pissed about being turned into a Lich. And yet, I'm compelled by this connection because it's just insane to me to have this on the docks. It's coming down. We prepped it last week, right? And then I get turned into a Lich in this Strahd campaign. What the fuck? All right. Let me get to it. Appreciate you guys hanging. Thank you for handling the heat. Thank you for handling the heat. Yikes. Yeah, I mean, it's just insane. Excuse me, I just need to pop out chat real quick. Let's go. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. And also, I don't want to be a negative Nancy, period. You know what I mean? And that's what was really catching me up before the stream. It was like, fuck, I feel so mad. I'm feeling myself just looking for ways to direct my frustration. And I don't want to do that. And that feeling whenever we succumb to reaction, or whenever I specifically am moving immediately out of frustration or anger or ego or whatever. They talk in Buddhism about what's called the sacred pause, which is just taking a beat between something happening and taking response and action towards it. And that's something that I am very bad at. But I'm reaching for it today, and I'm aware of it, and I'm clearly talking about it in this moment. I really appreciate you guys letting me just rant for a brief moment. I'm going to catch up on chat. I am all good. Life is good. I'm super fortunate and blessed. And I feel that way. This computer's a big investment, and I'm going to figure it out. And Mazrim is a Lich. What do you do? I think there has to be a trust whenever you're playing at someone's table where it's just rule zero. It's oh, fuck. And obviously it's made easier where I know Curse of Strahd is a gnarly fucking campaign, gnarly plays. Okay. Let's catch up on chat. Let's war game. Let's war game about these Liches. And then I want to move into the map specifically. And then we'll see where we are. How are y'all doing? Oh my gosh, forgive me. I'm the friend that shows up late to the brunch and then talks for 15 minutes. And then realizes nobody's ordered. Hope you guys are doing great. Sincerely. Sending smooches, sending love. Yes, I love that. Bring the merry marsh. Yeah, the Pit of Hell is where we are located. Do you intend to write up all of your notes at the end of the campaign into a narrative story or anything? You know, Sage, because of the breadth of it, for a while I was like, maybe. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm hoping that within a couple years, animation tools will be such that maybe with my understanding of After Effects, I could like goof around with some things. But the big through lines, like the story of Sweet Pea losing her sister and the Modify Memory, or the struggle of these gods, or even just Undertow, like bending his power towards these access points across the material and historical planes. I love that shit, you know? So I don't know. I think so. I just don't know what it is. Always a tough question, right? I know you feel that as a DM where you're like, God, because there's also so much in this campaign that is there but hasn't happened, right? Hasn't been discovered by the players. I know, Marshmallow. I hope I answered some of those questions. Big rips indeed. I'm good. What capture method are you using? I am using the... What is it? Just a window capture within OBS, Sage. Brother, I'm currently captured by a pack of orcs. Ugh! Well, shnikes, man. That I don't like. How close is the party, Marsh? I'm doing that to my players. Copy. I hear that. But as you said, sometimes you got to feel the feels. You know, agreed. Yes. You know what? Agreed. What I don't want to do, Fusca, is cross-contaminate what I have going on with historical disappointment, right? Or historical anything. And there's also a sense, and I can get lost in this, but that like future me has handled every situation I've ever thrown at him. You know what I mean? Maybe not always successfully or to the highest degree. But this will get resolved. And I appreciate you saying that too, baby. Yeah. No, we'll rip. I've got some stuff this afternoon. It's going to be a good week in terms of business. I'm close. I'm close to having this computer ready. I think there's a sense of like, to what degree am I owed? And to what degree is it like worth my calories to even ask that question? You know what I mean? Like owed? Gross. At the same time, like, I don't know. I don't feel this should have gone down for a consumer with a purchase in this degree. D&D is my favorite hobby I've ever had, and it can fuck me up in a way literally nothing else can. Agreed. Insane how that happens. I think there's beauty there, and I think there's disappointment akin to like, I remember sometimes in improv scenes, man, I'll be so bummed. The scene will have gone well, whatever, but there was like a moment where I couldn't quite find it, or I saw a higher degree of where the scene could go, and I wasn't able to take it there because of the timing or whatever. And that's how it feels now. I rolled a 6 on my charisma save. I needed a 15. I rolled a 14. And just before that, I'd polymorphed into a giant ape and beaten the life from this enormous vampire who was within my backstory, like my previous party leader, the one that had led us unwittingly into Barovia. And it was a triumphant moment. I couldn't believe it. I maintained concentration when she attacked me. I couldn't believe it. I critted on his second fist attack. Did 62 points of damage. But then the way Brian played it, which I respect, but was tough, is that like within this chamber, this gorilla, this giant ape, you know, hears the pullings of these stones. And I made a will save, I think, or wisdom with the giant ape, failed it, went to the stone, and kind of against my will touched it. And then I made a charisma save with my own statistics and passed. But then it kind of created a ripple effect of there was 2 other stones, and the next one I touched, I failed the wisdom save, and I turned into a fucking lich. I mean, it sucks. But I don't want to spend the whole day on that. But you're right. You're right, Marshmallow. You're right. Because it does. And I think there's beauty there, though. Because, like, that's the investment That's potentially the disappointment. I think I should have been more aware of that in terms of Barovia. I think I should have just been more aware. But nobody likes to hear the DM say, I will control the character now. And then they wander off into a life of eternal damnation, I guess. Oh my gosh, Frandy. God bless you. Frandy, get in here. Give me a digital hug, dude. It's a good bit of ways from the Amber Temple. Oh my gosh. I did not know you were running Strahd. Oh my god. I just cannot imagine. I just cannot imagine reading the Curse of Strahd campaign book. As a DM, I mean, I'm experiencing it as a player, obviously. But, sorry, I'm just trying to find the right music. There you are. Because all that shit, all of those amber stones. Anyway, I don't want to toss out too many spoilers. Oh, God bless. So now there's another Lich in another campaign, right? But aren't they all connected? Isn't everything in this world, even the words we speak out into the universe, spun back onto us? I wonder which happened first, this Lich in Barovia or this War of the Gods. And I think it's easier when things happen historically. Oh shit, Frandy, I owe you your fucking secrets. I was just about to get spicy, but this is a good time to turn it into secrets. Let me think. What's a good one? Dang. I'm trying to think. I have some good ones, but I've already told some of these secrets on stream when they were redeemed, and that kind of removes them from being secrets once they're uncorked. Okay, this is a good one. Maybe. I don't know. I'm like running them all through the vet of like, can I? That's why I wanted to put the secrets. So I'm like 17. I don't think anybody knows. Or you know what? I did tell him this recently. I think I told him this like 2 years ago. But I am about to sneak out of my parents' house and like do God knows what. And my oldest brother, Will, is downstairs. I think he's like home from college or something. Because at this point he's like 22, probably. And he's watching TV. And like me and all my brothers are chill. Will's like the oldest brother though. He's pretty straight-laced. Yes, oh my gosh, is this a sticker? What is going on? That is crazy. That was the wildest thing that ever happened. But I'm sneaking down the front steps. And down the front hallway at the end of it, about like 30 feet or whatever, 40, 50, is the living room that kind of tucks around to the left. But just at the edge that's visible in this hallway extended is the couch within the edge of the living room that faces the television. And Will is on that couch like this, arm up, watching TV. And I'm creeping down the steps like... And I was trying so quietly, I swear it took 5-10 minutes as I'm coming down these steps. Some of them are creaky. And I take a step down. And as I sort of step down off the steps onto the landing at the edge of this hallway, there's just... And Will looks. And I'm like... And I just go... And I like creep into the living room. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? And I like go to the window. And a moment later he comes in, he's like, what's going on? I was like, I think I saw somebody. And I like feign like searching. I'm like, where are they? Hello? And I'm like moving around. There's no one there. We're like near like Rice University in Houston, Texas. It's nothing's happening. And I'm like, whoa. And dude, it goes on. He asked me, Will ends up calling the police. Not like the police, but like the Southside police. And they not like HPD, you know what I mean? But they come down, and we like talk to them, and I'm like, I don't know. They were like asking me all this stuff about like ethnicity. This I'm like, I don't know. It was shadow. It was movement. Movement in the shadows right there. I could have sworn it was against the house. I came over, and I didn't see anything. But man, I you know, and oh my gosh, man, let me tell you, I was like 15, 16. I think I might have said 17, but I was younger than that because I was still at St. John's. Anyway, that, my friend, is your Be Truthful moment of the week. Right? It is a literal meat grinder. Frandy, I love you. Welcome home. Let's hang soon, and we will. Yeah. Yo, Gremlins for the slap. I need to examine these stickers. I know they shouldn't be 0 bits. But that's okay. We're here. So liches, huh? Mazrim is now a lich of Shantea. The party will begin here in this chamber where this, you know, army of skeletons has been blown to bits by the turn undead, and yet this hidden Rakshasa and this fearless Lich are starting to make their own presence known. I'd had in my mind that this was an orcish This was an orcish... I'm just pulling up some of my notes to myself. An orcish lich. That it had previously worked in this space known as the Dark Hearth. And worked alongside, you know, dwarves, humans, people in between or outside, whatever. And that this was around the time of this brokering of a great peace between orcs and dwarves, between dragons and giants. And this was brokered by this first wizard, this blade-singing wizard, Decanthar, who helped raise up the city of Silvery Moon and the Spellguard that ruled there. And Decanthar had brokered this peace, and as news of this peace had washed over the Sword Coast, the north, just like anything, I mean, I think there'd been like a lot of joy. I think it'd been well received. I think some people kind of, you know, were weird about it, and we're still like fearful of dwarves, or like suspicious of orcs, or whatever it would be. Suspicious that the truce would even last between giants and dragons. And there'd been a cave-in here. Many people had been killed. That's how these skeletons kind of came to be. But it was like 3,000, 4,000 years ago. The Peace of the Wild has just happened. They're in this mine. A cave-in happens. And it is more or less kind of like a slow death. People are turning on people. There's only, at this point, like, you know, 10-ish people left alive. And in my just sort of leaned upon justification and lore that I think might exist within this world, is that this one orc had been maybe like even kind of pressed upon by some of these miners, some of these dwarves that were kind of like, you know, maybe eager to eat him. I don't know, to survive. He felt like an outsider. He wondered why his rations had been smaller, why he always had to count his coins for payment exactly. And so that this goddess of blood comes to him like a dream, promises him he won't die ever, that she will fill him with power and remove his hunger, not knowing it would be replaced with a hungering of another kind. Yeah. Cool. So for me, it's kind of like 3,000 years ago, disaster happens. The survival kicks in. Not everything goes as well as it could. And now, this Lich, this orc that will become a Lich is essentially approached by the goddess of blood. Perhaps drawn there by the cannibalism and the fratricide. But now, this orc has a choice. Stefan. He has a choice, right? He accepts and seeks vengeance. So I think he then becomes a Lich. I think he's essentially like bound here in this space. This first kind of movement of Bala upon Shantea, coming into this collapsed mill, turning one of the occupants there, and then filling it with her own corrupt power. Now, is there a connection with Mazrim? His backstory is that he was part of a group called the Guardians of the Grain. Combination fighters, clerics, paladins. He didn't know he was going to end up being a bard then. Thought he'd probably be a cleric. But he followed a leader named Osira, and they marched what seemed like ever onward. 15 years or more. And near the end of that, it was as if Osira was becoming obsessed, like she heard whisperings that no one else did. It pulled them into a swampland that filled with fog. And after traveling for days, they felt the weather turn and emerged in a cursed land that he would come to know as Barovia. Disaster found the Guardians of the Grain. Many of them were killed. And Mazrim, in a moment of enormous weakness, already having failed many of his own, personal creeds and standards, fled the small town of Berez and eventually worked for the Wizards of the Wine. He made it down to Kresk and started a simple life there. Had been there more than a decade when these travelers came through. And it was the first sign of the outside he'd seen. It invigorated him. It somewhat reminded him of what had sent him forward with the Guardians to begin with. They pressed up to the Amber Temple and found themselves disrupted, disorganized, beaten down. One cleric killed. The only cleric killed. A dark cleric, though. And he saw Osira there, his leader. She was in the same armor of Shantea, but her features were gaunt and her teeth pronounced. And she led this vampiric army of warriors. And as Mazrim followed her into the depths of this antechamber, this crack in the wall beyond a room full of treasure, he was getting overwhelmed by a very powerful martial before casting a polymorph spell and miraculously maintaining it while he beat the life from this undead companion of his. Then the mind of the giant ape was overcome. And eventually, disaster found him, through his own shortcomings and mistakes as well. The DM in this Strahd game described it as being pulled into a library, a space dusty and infinite, with books lining as far as the eye could see. I was greeted there by an old seer who welcomed me with a sense of expectation, and he handed me a short stack of books. I then started reading hungrily, obsessively, and completely lost myself. Days, weeks, months, years. Eventually this seer came back to me and asked what my purpose was, what it is I wanted. I told him in Mazrim's own voice, redemption was what I sought. But redemption doesn't seem to matter now. And the DM described those in the room, of which there was one former party member, seeing Mazrim kind of stunned, and then turn and smile and say he'd be right back, more or less, and walk up the steps and stairs with a small box, a phylactery, with a blooming sheath of wheat on the pewter lid of this small space. So, goddamn. Oh, my bad. And I don't know, man. I'm not mad at this team at all. I love Brian. Totally respect it. I'm glad he's running such an intense, gnarly campaign. I really am. I'm just bummed by the results. Maybe cross-contaminating it with other disappointment, lack of sleep. Life is good. Truly. We are blessed to breathe. The fact we have internet access means we're doing okay. The two liches in question, though. There's a tie through Shantea. And I texted with Brian. I was like, what? I was like, you don't have to tell me any of this, but I loosely explained they know there's a lich in this chamber, and we both were like, this is kind of weird serendipity, huh? And I basically asked him if he thought Mazrim would leave this temple, leave this land, like what would happen. And he said that Mazrim would basically try to raise an army of undead and unseat Strahd. And then he said that he would try to leave the land of mists. And I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. I hope he kills Strahd. Godspeed, me. Goodbye. Yo, who we got? Who's coming in? Yes, Ozzy the Terrible? Get in here. Ozzy, that's hilarious. We have Azzy and Ozzy. Oh, you guys are the best. You guys are the best. Hey, man. Hey. I'm just here to call it like I see it. You guys are sweet. So the through line on these two liches is Shantea, which is odd because Shantea is obviously a good goddess. She's beloved by the common people. And I think it's interesting and continues this deep cut of idiosyncrasies that both these individuals, both Mazrim and Steffentern, were kind of common folk themselves. Usually liches are like wizards. And those are both like such specific overlaps. Ozzy, get in here. You DM? Clearly you're a D&D enthusiast. Come on. Bugles up. Everybody give it up for Ozzy. You're in the right spot. This is prep for a home game I'm running tomorrow. I think that Mazrim succeeded. I don't know that he beat Strahd. I think that the party will hopefully do that. But let's say he left the land of mists. And I think the very existence of a Lich of Shantea is incredibly, like, hypocritical, right? Like oxymoronic. That kind of, the existence of something like that, something that's contrary to what should be, would, in my opinion, necessitate a balance, right? Long were the days within the dark hearth. Revivifying the dead by the score. Moving through this holy place, feeling the blood goddess claim it as hers. Yes, I forgot. Let's go, baby boy, baby boy. We found the through line. Yes. Fintern would use... Shit, my bad. That is not what I wanted. Everybody good on the source code? Okay. Yo, we good on that? Stefan Tern would step through the mirror of the princes to the library. Oh my god, now he can't. Now he cannot. It is driving him mad. He spits, yes. Yes. So sorry, guys. I know I'm spazzing out on my own campaign and lore, but I'm just grateful for this connection. Let me explain it. He spits out the name Telkun like a mouthful of poison. He washes his hands, his eyes burning. Give him to me. Give me my recompense. I think the... Cool. So this would necessitate a balance, right? Maybe this is what allowed Bala to have this power. Maybe that's just how gods work. Kind of as above, so below. You know what I mean? I'm liking that. What do you guys think? I want to... Tricked by Telkun, yes. Okay, so this is important, but I'm going to put it down here because it's not as chronological as what I need. His name is Stefan Tern. What would he be called? The Black Sheath. Had caused the imbalance, allowing Bala this power. As above, so below. It's true. Regardless of scope or power. This Lich of Shantea sparked Bala's jealousy. No one would take. She would not let life take from death. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, cool. So those of you that have been coming through, hey, we will make it happen. We know that the war of the gods, right? The gods in general choose these champions or find ways to manifest their power on the material plane. Here, the hells themselves, you know, the seat of Bala, the seat of death, residing in this place of eternal dying and damnation. They themselves, the hells, have been compromised with this list of true names, right? The demon princes, their power being controlled, the ability to summon them by speaking their true name. And within the hells was an area known as the library. And there resided 4 or 5 chained Sybriexes. And if you don't know what a Sybriex is, get ready for some bombs, okay? But a Sybriex is like this amalgamation of mind and death. It's this hulking monstrosity that is often bound together with chains, kind of holding it together. And they're considered the lore keepers of the hells. They are vicious and all-consuming and lust for knowledge as perhaps a lich might lust for power. And within the world of this campaign, and I've always been fascinated with Sybriexes. Like many things in D&D mechanically, like an amber stone that can turn you into a lich. Hey-o! There is like a beauty to how thoughtful and specific the wording on some of the mechanic can be. And with the Sybriex, they are so lustful for knowledge and lore that I think it's just cool to kind of have like an if that then what. Like, how would people use that? What does it mean for a creature to know more than almost every other creature combined on Earth, right? Like these things that live millennia and are extremely powerful and exist only to gain knowledge. Like they seek out libraries, they seek out wizards, they seek out, those that have access to hidden truths, to deep knowledge. And within the world of the campaign, that Sybriex has come into play here and there, here and there. Oh, squishy boys up. But there was, this is just a conceit that I built in. I thought it was cool. But there's a castle way to the north that's run by this rich family of millers that were loggers for a long time. And then they basically started making paper, made a bunch of cash. And they have this portal. They don't know what it is. It's this huge, opaque mirror. And it allows one to step through into this chamber. They don't know that it is this, but the library where these bound Sybriexes are held. And that, I think, is just so fucking cool. And the party made it there, and they were putting some things together. They were like, oh shit, that's how Trent found this. That's how some people got information. Yo, Ozzy. We got Ozzy. I love it. That's so good. Ozzy, I love that. Hey man, I got my little boy in there pooping up a storm. Let it go. But they stepped through the portal and all the Sybriexes were gone. They'd been abducted. They'd been taken by this half-fiend, half-drow sorcerer, Telkun. Just want to make sure I put this down. Do I have Tycoon stuff here? Cool. Just want to make sure I jot this. Has the Sibrix is exactly great. And this is just, see what I'm saying? That makes me so happy. Past me taking care of future me. That's how we're living. But guys, how are we feeling? How are y'all's campaigns going? Has anyone else ever had a player character that has been taken over permanently by the DM? And I'm not complaining about the DM's move here. I totally respect and understand the ruling. As much as I dislike it. Right? Okay. I'm liking where this is. I don't even know how much of the two Lich connection will come up, but I want it to be there, right? I want to know what it is. The pixies are there, Halstead, all of this. Yeah, this is great. She would not look great. Here we go. This is where it is. And this is me just moving things chronologically. I mean, I this is a little OCD, but it helps me to have it in the likely flow of when I'll use it. You know what I mean? This is a big deal. I want to make sure I highlight it. It's also scary, so I'll put it in red. Great. What are those pig sounds? I love it. Are there pig sounds, or is that Waylon? Are there pig sounds going? What's up? Let me see. Do I maybe? I do have a pig squeal. Was it this? That's Operation Hogtie, baby. Unfortunately, Elden Ring DLC has stolen my heart. But fear not, the day will come. The day will come, my friend. No, definitely not your baby boy. That is so weird. Was it what I just played? If it just went, that was a sound cue I hit. But if I unwittingly hit it, that is weird. Anyway, keep me posted, guys. Okay, so I feel pretty good about the setup of this. This is all good. Great. Cool. Okay, so let's talk about what is going to go down here. The Lich motivation, I'm with. I think... Oh, wait, no. We need to find a way... Okay, so this is the wrap-up on the Lich, right? This is just for really my edification more than anything else. This guy, Stefan Tern, was a miner around the era of the Peace of the Wild. That's about 3,000 years ago. They're living. Life still isn't ideal for an orc and dwarvish country, but it is what it is. There's a cave-in. You know what I mean? And people are starting to get gnarly. Survival becomes touch and go. There's a lot of back and forth. And as people are getting more and more tense, as the dead are being consumed and those living are being threatened with that potential, because of this Lich of Shantaea, this black sheath. And perhaps it did take Mazrim 1,000 years. But Bala was given the power to make a Lich of her own, not allowing for life to take from death in such a fashion. And she came here to this place of Shantea, which felt all the more fitting. Perhaps it was necessary. I actually kind of like that. Maybe it could only happen. This could only happen in a holy place of Shantea to balance what had happened. Creation. Great. Of a Lich of Shantea. Cool. I'm with that. This all sounds great. Yeah. So he's trapped there. He kills what's left. He starts raising dead. He's still trapped there, right? And perhaps is beginning to make a lair for himself. He goes a little bit deeper and he finds this. He finds this open space. And maybe I should even put yeah. I might even see what it would be like to draw little things of wheat. Sometimes that's a little cheesy, but sometimes it's cool. Make it really small. Something like that. Because it's all one. If I can duplicate this, I'm actually with that. Damn it. Okay. Well, perhaps a struggle for another day. I think what needed to happen is I needed to do it all in one, right? Guys, this is actually a wheat tutorial. Appreciate you guys being here for this. I'm of course known for my MS style paint proficiency. Yes. What beauty. Oh yeah. Wheat boy coming through. Look a little bit more like tulips. Oh no, what happened? What? Alright, just one of those days. All good. And we don't need to be perfect with this. Let's just make it what it is. Cool. Okay, so we'll just duplicate this, right? I mean, is it not? Well, damn. I guess I'll have to draw a bunch of wheat. That'll be a time for another day. I mean, a day. Yeah. That'll happen at a time on another day. The point is, we're not drawing a bunch of wheat right now, man. Everybody back off. I already had to redraw the wheat 3 times. But after, raising this army of dead, right, he's there. I think liches begin to hunger for that purpose, right? And I think a lot of it is bent towards the ruin of Shantea. But here within this space, is a mirror of the princes. And once stepping through, it leads to the library. And I wonder... how it went when Telkun stole the Sibriuxes. If perhaps this Lich was tricked by Telkun, bound here by this diamond. Okay. Good questions. Not all questions with answers, but good questions. All right? Yes, okay, good. Yo, Marshmallow, I hate hearing that. It was the one you just hit. Okay, great. Well, guys, if you need any more hog presets, hey, you know what? There should be some marijuana growing in this cave. There definitely should be. It's like the Lich was down here chilling. Okay, cool. So here's what we're going to do. I think I need to look up. This is where we're about to get weird with the things we're looking up and searching. You know what I mean? Raided the library. I love it. Okay, so I want Bala to be basically like a little girl that's covered in blood. Hard thing to search. Hard thing to search, right? I'm not trying to get raided. I'm not trying to get swatted up in it. But if you add 4 DnD, that could be okay. Oh my gosh, this is so weird. 4 DnD campaign, please God. Ah. Okay. She looks cool. This is it. Wow. This is dope as hell, huh? Well, interesting. Okay. This will be perfect. Oh, we're too zoomed in. Shout out to Emma the Fire Wizard and my guy Calaxis1. Well done, Calaxis. Not sure how this image was created. I won't be using it for profit, fear not. The little Bala. Wanna be a... Okay, come here. Oh, I see. Well, I don't want that. Great. Yes, exactly, Ozzy, right? Dude, exactly. Wait, say it might help to look up some horror-based artwork. Got it. Foos, that's great. Oh my gosh, okay, got it. Yeah, okay, it looks AI-ish. It's just very... There's many ways to create digital art. You know what I mean? Yeah, believe me. I do have to search a bunch of random stuff when writing things anyways. But, all the more so. All the stinking more so whenever it is, you know, a D&D campaign. Much less someone covered in blood. So little girl, maybe blood horror? Again, like if the feed goes dark, ay caramba. These are bad. These are very bad. Very bad. Okay, so the other one looks like... This looks cool. You, I will read later. Peace. Go with God. This is a horror lineup we have in front of us here. Okay. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to grab my coffee. I'll be right back, and we will get to the bottom of this. Thank you, lovers. Yeah. Image shift is intense. If I didn't tack on anatomy or 4D&D, exactly. That's exactly correct. This is a survival instinct. Well, I'm tempted to use one of these as like a follow-up. You know what I mean? Like it morphs from one into the next. And if there's one with short enough hair... Dang, does she get even younger? That's kind of scary. She's like 11 months old. She can't even talk. I'm actually kind of like with that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, okay. Cool. Baby Bala. Wanna be ya? Okay, let me make sure this is it. Cool. Just make sure these are how they need to be. Taking the backgrounds off these, and then I'll drop them into my owlbear real quick. I'm not sure how they'll remove the background on this. Oh, they did keep the fire. Fuck yeah, that's awesome. Okay. So I'm going to drop these in. And you know, it's worth mentioning that, well, one, that wheat is incredibly well drawn. Can we acknowledge that? Can we take another moment? No, it's worth mentioning that, you know, as it stands now, right? There's like exterior entrance, nothing happened there. There was a map for it, but we didn't really need it. Then they come down into sort of the antechamber. That's where they've been trapped, and there's steps leading down that are currently have like skeletons running up it, and the Lich has emerged from. And if they go down there, then we'll be in sort of this like, you know, antechamber continued, right? This space where there's this statue associated with the Alagondars. You see sheaths of wheat. I think I'll probably just like put this up to remind myself. But like, you know, you see like huge racks of equipment. That have like, you know, what looks to be harvesting supplies, or once were, and now are often corroded or twisted, chipped and black. They make it through here. Yeah, they make it through here and through this space, and they basically have the opportunity. They see it kind of opens out into this grassy field. Now, or excuse me, that's how I think I'm going to do it. Previously, I had this, right? Had this as the actual tomb. Now, I did end up finding something kind of dope, did I not? Didn't I find a thresher or something like that? Right? I think I did it at the very end yesterday. Let me see. Or last week. So Tabitha, I remember. Damn, maybe I was on my other computer last week. That might be what's going on. Well, just see real quick. Renaissance farming equipment. This will get them off my back. They're like, oh no, he's lame. He's lame. Never mind, stand down. Yeah, he's like a farmer. I don't know, he's like a thresher. All good. Maybe a girl got caught in his thresher and that's what he's trying to look up. Hey, Marmy. Oh, got the long-eared boy coming and saying, hey. Well, I think I'm just going to have to do it with description, unfortunately. But there's a part of me that wants to treat this like almost like a secret room. Because I was going to have it where they basically went through the previous map. There's a statue that's kind of a trap. There's a bunch of farming equipment. They go around, They come, and it's an enormous mill. It's like a big, like, grinding stone, this circular apparatus. And beyond it, it starts moving forward into what I was considering more or less like a temple of Shantea that's now been taken over by this Lich. The map itself is wonderful, but is designed to really be like a tomb, right? I mean, there's tombs everywhere. There's this little like live-in room that works for me with the Lich. Like I can use that, but there's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, there's so many tombs, and I wonder. Okay, I wonder. This is a thought I'm having. I'm wondering, because this right here, this diamond, is the diamond that Telkun, this evil kind of sorcerer that tricked this Lich more or less and gained access to the library, and the Sibrix is there. This is his phylactery. And I'd wanted, and this is like extremely aggressive. This is extremely aggressive, but I basically wanted to treat it like the Lich could use 2 actions to duplicate itself by way of this diamond. And I know that is insane, but I kind of like the idea. This was really based on thinking like, okay, the party's level 18. I feel like I could throw anything. I feel like if I'm about to throw a dragon, I might as well throw 2 dragons, you know? But I don't want to overdo it. I think the more satisfying moment, this is a cool map. We can maybe end up here. I wonder if I just do this. I wonder if I just do this. Dang, I forget how to do it on the stinking... Hold up. Great. I'm just going to take a quick screenshot of this. Schwink. And I'm wondering if maybe... Let me just put it into the appropriate folder as I am OCD and want to take the screenshot and put it where it's supposed to go. What was I calling this here? This was very cool to me. I think I had it here. Cavern, spinning image mill. Yeah, Harvester's Prayer. Yeah. Yeah, great. See, this is just like a flashback. A cave-in starvation, exactly. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so I think I need to make this happen regardless. This is very cool to me. And I think to do that, I will simply... Harvester's Prayer. I will simply add this from the other one. You know what? I wonder if I can... I wonder what will happen if I try to turn this into a PNG. What will you do? Okay, cool. I think I can do it. Oh my god, look at that. Oh my god, they did such a good job. Well done, computer. Wow, Xander, look at you. Yeah, dude, Curse of Strahd. Curse of Strahd. My level 8 bard. Rolled a 6 for a total of 14 on the charisma save. Was permanently turned into a Lich. What a bitch. How you doing, man? Honestly, like, it was gutting. Gutting. Unbelievable experience. That I can't say I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy, because I would. I would. I would. Okay, let me put it from pictures, then I'll put it where it needs to be. Cool. Oh, this is going to be dope as fuck. All right, we're about to recap this. This is going to be good. God, this really came together in this moment. See, and that's why there's such beauty pretty much always. Like, if you feel something in your campaign, or there's a cool, exciting bit of lore, throw it down. Expound on it. Typically for me, there's like a moment where I'm like, this is where it fits. Oh no, they can't fit here. This is the spot that it goes. But sometimes, whenever we're able to like pull back, or I struggle to be flexible all the time. And this here is a situation where that previous map with the Lich didn't serve the story as much as this one does. This corrupted tree, right? This place that had gone. Yo, DM Dave? There he is. There's DM Dave. Legend, man. Thank you for the follow. I'm trusting that DM Stands for Dungeon Master. Heck yeah, guys, hop in there and help out Last Rock. Last Rock, I will get to that before the end of the stream, I promise. Decent, experimenting on undead, abductions. Xander's like, yo, I'm in the lab right now. All right? Oh my gosh, here is where all those wheat showed up. Look, there is a bunch of wheat. It worked. I just didn't know where it worked. Hilarious. Hysterical. That is great. Well, you know, every lich needs a companion. Even if it's just a phylactery, right? So, appreciate you guys coming through. You're in the right spot. This I like a lot. This is working for me. But we're also going to put down this little prayer wheel because I want to have that flashback. I want them to realize, like, oh shit, we're in like an ancient place. This was sealed in. There's long dead warriors, many of them wearing the vestments of the Brunner War. I forgot about that. Yeah. Skeletons. Wow. Yeah, I mean, this is really just more for DM Dave because you just got here. I also was turned into a lich yesterday. My player character was, everyone relax, basically the same thing, but in a Curse of Strahd campaign, and it was brutal. It was brutal. Cool. Okay, this is a backstory reference. This is also just dates it as being quite some time ago. This is great. Okay, let's walk back through it, huh? Depends on my player's feeling that day. Oh, man. Okay, so this is a homebrew campaign. As you can see, I'm on page 285 of 289. Been running this just over 4 years. 4-year anniversary was April. It began as Dragon of Icespire Peak. It's now spun out into basically the player characters' backstories. And we're now thrust into the midst of the third act. And I mean, honestly, like, I think we'll be done within, I don't know, 15 sessions? 10? Who knows? I've said that before. But now they're in the midst of this conflict between the Drow and sort of the coalition of the north, like Silvery Moon, Everland, Sundabar, etc. And the Drow have been flushed upward because the hells themselves, the plane, is rising. And it took them a while. I mean, there's obviously this is like 4 years to encapsulate, but basically there's like been a power struggle between the goddess of blood, Bala, and the goddess of grain and renewal, Shantea. And that, of course, has come to manifest itself in many different ways. But now the party is trying to deal with this Drow incursion. They're trying to move towards the last kind of stronghold of the north, which is Raven Rock. And they have some companions there. Unbeknownst to one of the players, their granddaughter is there. And they have, instead of risking it going above ground and traveling the 6 or 7 days in this Drow-controlled area, they've pressed deep into an area, an abandoned mine called the Dark Hearth. And they were led there by a trickster. Essentially, there'd been an assassin that some suspected of being a changeling. I mean, the changing of identity, the subterfuge that had kind of racked the north by way of this Drow assault was now doubled with what appeared to be people working with the Drow. And the party, again, backstory plugged in, was pursuing some of these criminal organizations that were working with the Drow. When they were duped and led to this place, and the entrance behind them was sealed, and as they went down the steps, the individual that had led them there, a sort of big, bushy-bearded dwarven fella by the name of Bilbin. They walked inside and they heard sort of the closing of stone, basically a stone-shaped spell. And after a moment within the darkness, 70, 80 feet beyond the other side of this cavern, they heard, "Well, who's there? Come on out and get on with it. And they basically move forward with a torch. They're like, Bilbin? And indeed it was. Thinner, more gaunt. The streaks of blue that had been dyed into his beard were now a bit more faded. And they find themselves in this cursed chamber. This former temple of Shantea that's now controlled, this living space of the undead god, Bala. And at the end of this, if they make it through, and depending how they take the next steps, it could put them very close to the last remaining BBEG, who he himself is like a champion of Bala and, you know, is a son of a gun. Whew! Okay, that's the lore drop. But we got a lot of good stuff done today, guys. I want to walk back through what I view to be the timing, and then I'm going to review the intro. And then we'll see where we are. But before that, let's check out the chat and let's see what that question was. Who had that? Did Land have that? Has done experiments on how ghouls are made. And the conclusions are quite gruesome. Good Southern charm. Agree exactly. The guy sounded like such a bumpkin, they had no problem. The old saying go, all roads lead to Barovia. Yeah, pretty much, man. It's either that or all roads end in Barovia, right? Yeah, Ozzy. 4 years, man. 4 years. It's been a... Yes, Amber Temple. Amber Temple. Amber Temple. Who's trying to... I polymorphed into a giant ape. And my wits weren't what they always should be. But it was... I mean, it was very, very compelling, but it was brutal. If you want to experiment with vampires, test out how they are made. What are the conditions? Can they be natural? Etc. Any given vampires have the sire loyalty, totally. They cannot dissipate upon creation. See if you can replicate it. Interesting. If you want a scary straw, look at 2E's version. Oh, interesting. A lot of what I'm running is kind of borrowed from 3.5. I would love to check out a second edition Strahd. I'm sure that is rowdy. You know? Okay, so I'm looking for name ideas for a hippie human NPC. She has a very strong peace and love vibe, minus the drugs, and I'd like that name to reflect her in some way, if you have some ideas. Okay, Last Rock, this is kind of what I'm thinking. Let me think about that, Last Rock. Hippie human druid. I mean, obviously there's like just straight up like dandelion. I like the idea of like kind of weird little like mulch for me is fun. You know what I mean? Something that like, especially if she's like kind of a cutesy hippie, it'd be fun to have like a kind of a gruff name. Like Crust. I could see it being, yeah, you can maybe see. Oh, maybe it could be. Yeah, I like Brightleaf as well. You could also just call him Bob, like Bob Marley. I also like the idea of maybe it's Ziggy, and Ziggurat is the full name. Those would be my suggestions. Oh, I didn't directly reply to it, Last Rock, but that's what I'm looking at. +2 weapon required to hurt him? My God. Wow. Okay. Let's review the sequencing, and then we will go over the actual intro. Let me make sure that I have this correct, because I think I need to add this. Cool. I gotta add my 2 ladies. Ladies. Cool. Great. This looks scary as hell. That is so scary. Right, exactly. Exactly. He's like, well, the truth is, I ain't been from Bixie all that long, but I seen this caved-in mine. It's called the Dark Hearth. It's a tough place. I hear people tell it wasn't always cursed, but sure as hell is now. And dude, I'm telling you, like the changeling setup, there was a battle, there was 2 individuals that looked like the same person, but that was just a disguised self spell. So they kind of thought they got the changeling, even though the person that fell from the fake elf when they knocked him unconscious clearly was not a changeling. They didn't really connect it in the moment. Okay, cool. So we're going to drop this in. Ooh, you big, girl. Golly, it's going to be rowdy. Okay. Need to lay down the prayer wheel and then we're out the door. Really? There we go. Okay, cool. So let's move all these guys back here. All right, sweet. Okay, guys, I like it. Me gusta, me gusta. Oh, they held it for Hick? That's funny. Maldo's great. Tremati. Yandelion. Hey, Yandelion is great. Honestly, going by Puffmeister is great. I've got an NPC up for a crit award this year that follows that exact formula. Let's go. Good for you, dude. What is a crit award? Comforting not to trust. Hick Gith Yankee. Pfft, I love that. It's like, well, you know, put them at ease and then put a blade to their throat. I've always said. So the party will pick up Shmia within this cave entrance to the Dark Hearth. There's a couple more waves of zombies that are coming. We are actively in combat, and it is the Lich's turn. So let's just take another look at the old Lich stat block. God knows I was last night. God knows I was last night. I woke up and the first thing on my mind was being a goddamn Lich. Okay. So annoying. Just so incredibly annoying. Alright, so he's got a group of people in front of him. Fireball's an option. Cloud kill's an option. Dude, that's awesome. Congrats, brother. That's rad. DM Dave, I assume you stream. Let me slide in on this. It's like, yes, dude, that's what I just said. That's sick, man. Can't wait to check it out. You know what? Let's do a fucking show. Let's get a little... Let's fucking see. Let's just shoot, huh? Fucking shoot it out. This is, of course, more about seeing whether or not the plugin works. Now, let's see. What you doing, Dave?
Mate wanted...
Of course it pulls, like, a moment that is honestly, like...
Is he on Spotify, though?
Seems chill. Me gusta. Well, that's probably the moment that I imagine DM Dave would have chosen. I imagine. Like a riveting moment of needing to adjust the settings and just being chill. You know. That's a vibe. All right? There's an aura, as they say. Okay, so what would this Lich do? I think probably Cloud Kill. But would he upcast... Would he upcast Fireball? 20-foot radius sphere. When a creature enters the spell's area for the first turn, that creature must make a concentration throw. No, I think we fireball it. I think we upcast fireball, right? I love it. That's my private account. I DM for Careful Cantrip. Okay, amazing. I don't know who they are, but that's a great name. Like, I mean, yeah, it's like a thoughtful casting of Mage Hand. I love that. So, I, of course, love the monsters know what they're doing. I've read the Lich. I haven't in a while. I'll go back and kind of brush up on that. I'm curious... Yeah, I'm curious if... Because this is 8d6, right? 96. Like, what's the advantage here? I guess the advantage is that Cloudkill can poison. But I think even just seeing a monk... Like poison damage is so much more avoidable than fire damage, eh? Field save, have some successful creatures are affected even if they hold their breath. Wait, is that it? I feel like there's got to be more, right? Thank you, Chonko. Thank you, my son. Mark. He's huffing and puffing. I feel like this is kind of absurd for 5th level. Am I missing that they become poison? I'm just not reading that. The area is heavily obscured. Okay, cool. So that's the advantage. That's the advantage. Okay, great. When a creature enters the spell for the first time on a turn or starts its turn, they're great. The problem is, I know that the dwarf... I mean, on the meta level, the monk will take no poison damage, right? But... Wow, okay. Interesting. But Garby, if you want a truly evil Lich, Velikron, in an effort to rebuild his tower, went to a nearby village, slaughtered every man, woman, and child, animated half of them, used the rest as substitute mortar for the tower. What a thrilling tale, Xanderfell. People are materials, and how you use the materials matters not. Wow. Okay. Be ye builders of men. Wow. Okay, I need to check out Careful Cantrip. That's rad. The party's level 18. Level 18. It's, yeah, for real. I think there is a Rakshasa moving around. There's also a buttload more zombies, right? There's waves upon waves. So if the cleric wants to keep doing that, he can. There will be some pixies that appear in the next room. I need to add those. They used to support Shantaea and, of course, have been, like, driven back. Like, they barely are able to come out or do anything. What I was toying with was the idea that the Lich has a diamond. It's what binds him here. It's sort of like a phylactery, but it's more than that. And with 2 actions, it can create almost a shadowy copy, a less powerful version of its own force. And I like the idea of establishing that this can be done, because it necessitates them needing to destroy this diamond. And adds another layer of combat and also allows this Lich to be even more threatening. That obviously sounds like insane. It's like, whoa, you have something in combat that's like a button that duplicates a Lich? They're level 18. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Or a false Hydra dragon. Never heard of a false Hydra. Would it be in a cave this size? So I guess it casts Cloudkill, huh? I think that's probably what the move would be. Just like put it right here. At the same time, would it not just drop a fireball and bop everybody? I think it probably would. I think it would have to go fireball. Okay. This is going to be very fun. Okay, so the party will combat here. Once things get heated, the Lich will retreat, right? And that will lead us here. Oh my gosh, DM Dave, that's such a better idea. I love that. Especially since... God, that's rad. God, that's rad. Bugles up for Dave. It's well placed. Especially since I came out and, by way of this Rakshasa, cast Dominate Person. And the level 18 Battle Master Fighter failed it. But previously there'd been kind of a will save situation on the monk. And the monk basically and it was quite meta, but because this spell had just been cast on him, I gave him perception roll disadvantage and set the DC at the Rakshasa spell DC, and he still met it. And I was like, okay, let's roll for initiative. You roll at advantage, Battle Master Fighter. And the monk still beat them. So the monk came over and unlevied 4 attacks, and on the 3rd or 4th, the wisdom save necessitated after taking damage was succeeded. And this was not something I'm proud of, because that was, in my opinion, a cheeseball fucking move. I don't necessarily put that on the monk. I more put that for... I should have just said no. Instead, I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave it up to the dice. And I'm going to set advantage. I'm going to kind of stack the deck. And it still didn't work out, right? Every DM has experienced this, right? Both good and bad, where sometimes the party just can't roll above a whatever it is. And they're like, okay, actually, you just find the map. Fuck. So the idea that this diamond duplicates party members is beautiful. If I can't play D&D tonight, oh my gosh. So the regular layer effects are in play. Sorry, I'm just having a little bit of browser issue here. Weird. Yeah, maybe. I want to just give him Misty Step, almost as like again, I don't like straight up. I mean, I don't mind straight up creating characters. I do that for a lot of my bosses. But it's easier for me to reskin and combine. And I wonder if there's almost like a Shadow Monk thing, like a bonus action can move 60 feet from Shadow or Dim Light to Shadow or Dim Light. Like something like that feels appropriate to me. Okay, so we're here. Perfect. Okay, so this is what I need to do, actually. Let me just make sure I have the right diamond. Hang on. Where's the tomb? Where is the tomb? So I just want to copy this. And then bring this guy back. Great. Yeah, I like that idea a lot, Dave. That's well put. Appreciate that, buddy. This is a classic sitch where I'm not sure where that paste happened. Did not paste there. Hold up. Where's this floating diamond? You know what? Not gonna risk it. Gonna find my own. Everybody back up. Where do I have these? Props, 9 hells, what is it? Really? None. I have no props. Maybe I have them. I mean, I know I have a bunch of this stuff. Scenes, maps. Do I have them saved as characters? Yes, I do. Got it. So a lot of what should be saved as props were saved as characters. Everyone, the port over from the original Owlbear was not without its flaws. This is where we're looking, right? It's either this or dungeons, I think. Well, snakes. Here we go. Eureka. My boy. There you are, my boy. Cool. There's my little diamond. There's my little buddy. So I think this guy is actually being held here. Boink. Yeah, cool. Okay, I love that. My sister just bit me. Yo, the instinct will be to bite back. Do not do it. Do not do it. Trust me. It'll come back. It'll haunt you. It'll get you. It can happen to the best of us. Okay, let's put on a little bit. Just one more little jam. I'm liking where this flow is because we go from here. They see that it was a mill. They see this threshing equipment. They see the corruption of Bala in the space of Shantea. The Lich is able to use what is more or less a pretty intense duplication process. But good question about the layer actions. I think I wanted to add some specific to these blood, like the idea of it being some sort of restrain, some sort of area of effect. I think anyone that gets probably within 10 feet of the blood runs the risk of being pulled into it. They know very bad things happen whenever the suction begins and yield pool of blood. She doesn't have teeth. Got it. That's amazing. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, there is a mirror that shows up at the very next map. Let's look at the actual map itself. Maybe we put another little thing of blood. Cool. So I think you can move between these spaces really easily. Cool. Okay, I like this. They make it through. If they make it through, obviously, that will bring us here. And I want their experience. Like, I don't think the Lich's combat will continue back here. They'll see this corrupted field of wheat. They'll see these runes on the ground, and when crossing, will be forced to make a wisdom save or be pulled into memories spread across the astral plane. They'll see this conflict between Shantea and Bala. They'll see the Dark Hearth, a once prospering mill, now the site of a tragic cave-in. The recklessness and survival that racks this small community, the doubt and violence, and how the blood goddess Bala uses this opportunity, perhaps this hesitation of trust, to offer a dark pact to an orc there. And specifically, Bala was able to step into this holy place of Shantea. I mean, perhaps a bit pedestrian, perhaps every day in terms of a mill and its usage, but a holy place nonetheless. And Bala was able to do this because of the disruption centuries prior, when this acolyte of Shantea, a poet by the name of Mazrim, fell prey to lichdom in the Amber Temple. It's crazy. It's crazy how this Lich has been on the table for the Tuesday campaign for about a month. And how my character got turned into a Lich of Shantea yesterday. Yeah, we'll throw in some layer actions. I like that. Damn. Wait, I'll put them here because this is going to be copied and pasted over. Yes, have a lot of this down. Great. Yes. You know what? Dark Earth will have to be here. Cool. Okay, so let's go over the intro. A lot of this I pinned last week. Let's see. As soon as Sweet Pea, the last of your party, set foot at the bottom of the mine's entrance, you know what? Let's get it right. Let's get it right. Let's get it tight. Let's get it right. Let's get it tight. As soon as she set foot at the bottom of the mine's entrance, she heard it. The grumbling of stone pressing against stone, and the light, overcast though it was, dissipating from the bottom of this entrance like a dream disappearing upon waking. You turn, Sweet Pea, and see nothing but rough-hewn stone where there was an entrance, and all of you, while taking in this dank darkness, hear a familiar cry from a familiar voice. "Who's there? Get on with it then. Kill me if you aim to." Bilbin, the same dwarf who'd led you from Bixie Creek to the Dark Hearth, but how? You'd killed the changeling, right? 2 sisters, the horn of truth held by one, a battle breaking out after the summoning of a true-sighted coatl, a celestial capable of seeing beyond the trappings and tricks of fae and magic. But once struck down and ensconced in flames of Falm's making, you saw the body of a human man, Samson, his burly biceps no longer moving, but twisted awkwardly beneath his lifeless frame. The thick auburn curls mixing with blood and stone on the ground. Was this your changeling? This human? Slight. You knew Samson. He'd always been a heavy even when you were running from the jackals, but a changeling? No. And now trapped within the sunken entrance to this forgotten mine, you've heard the rumblings and shufflings of a dark power. The dwarf calling himself Bilbin that's within this chamber seems pushed to the edges of his own capacity to reason. Please, be quiet. Don't draw it out. The darkness, don't draw it out. I ain't got much fight left. And then we'll pick up on Bilbin's turn. Bilbin is basically going to... he's basically going to try to crawl to the back of this fucking thing. If the gods are good, he'll avoid... What do we think, guys? Do we cast Cloud Kill? Or do we cast a 5th level Fireball? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It feels like Fireball, but I'm going to have to crunch the numbers on that. The fact that it would be opaque is cool, but they're going to rush out of there anyways trying to hit this Lich. You know? Anyway. Okay. Guys, I love you. Today was fun. Thank you for getting through it with me. Appreciate the new follows. Ozzy, DM Dave, Frandy, thank you for coming through and redeeming secrets. Vog, Foos, Red Sage, both Ozzy and Azzy, Marshmallow Man, the quick OG, as they say. Who'd I forget? Xanderfell, oh my gosh. Yes, thank you, come through. Helping with the names as well. Lander, thank you for making that request. I'm glad we got there. You guys are great, man. Thanks for being there for me. Thanks for being sweet. I'm going to be interviewing Lord Richter on Wednesday. So it's going to be a very fun between 2 DMs. And then I'm going to be streaming Elden Ring DLC on Friday. So, that's what's up.